I have sat in the Oval Office with both of the men who are running for president. I never expected that my successor would embrace my vision or continue my policies. I did hope, for the sake of our country, that Donald Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously, that he might come to feel the weight of the office and discover some reverence for the democracy that had been placed in his care. But he never did.
President Trump is visiting the battleground state of Pennsylvania today. He plans to speak at an event just outside of Joe Biden's hometown of Scranton. Trump's visit timed to come just hours before Biden formally accepts the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. This campaign trip appears to be a much-needed visit for Mr. Trump, who is trailing in the battleground state. A CBS poll shows he is at least 6 percentage points behind Joe Biden. In 2016, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin were the 2 states that led to President Trump winning the election. The question is, can he do it again? Money and politics editor and political analyst from our Pittsburgh affiliate, KDKA, Jon Delano, joins me now. Hi, John. So how are voters reacting to the timing of the president's visit to Scranton?
Well, let's face it, President Trump is trying to do a little one-upsmanship because tonight, the Scranton-born Joe Biden is going to accept his party's nomination and address the nation. And, you know, there's no one better than Donald Trump at sort of upsetting the traditional way of doing things. Normally, the party that's not up tonight would lay back a little bit, rest a little bit and let the other party have its day. Not so with President Trump. He's going to be in Scranton in just about an hour, and clearly he's going to try to take some attention away from the Scranton-born native, Joe Biden. And mind you, the Republicans are already saying, at least the Trump campaign is telling me, look, Biden was only in Scranton for the first few years of his life. He really isn't that key anymore. He's not a Pennsylvania native. They're downplaying it all. And why are they doing that? Because Pennsylvania is ground zero. Whoever wins the state of Pennsylvania wins the White House, and both campaigns know that.
So in 2018, Biden did help Congressman Conor Lamb win a special election in a district Mr. Trump won by 20 points. Are you seeing other areas of the state changing from red to blue or vice versa?
Well, I think it's a little soon to predict exactly what's going to happen in this election. I'm very familiar with the CBS poll, but let's face it, these are snapshots in time. And there are a whole lot of folks out there who believe that there are supporters of Donald Trump who, just like they did 4 years ago, would not tell pollsters that they were voting for Donald Trump. But there's no doubt that Joe Biden has a different message than Hillary Clinton in his appeal to white working class voters in the surrounding counties from the big cities. It's really important in both the northeastern part of the state, where Scranton is located, and in southwestern Pennsylvania, here in Pittsburgh, where I am. And Biden has always had very strong connections with the labor unions, and he has certainly tried to use that to the maximum in this campaign. Whether it's going to work or not, what he needs to do is take Trump Democrats and bring them back to the Democratic fold. I think a lot rides on what he says tonight. There's certainly a concerted effort to turn him into a left-wing radical, to suggest that Bernie Sanders and AOC are telling Joe Biden what to do. In Pennsylvania, that won't work because of the great natural gas and energy and coal fields that we have. Democrats who work in those fields, they don't want to go far left. And Joe Biden, as he did in 2018 for Conor Lamb, is trying to bring him back to the middle.
Right, but let's dig into that a little bit further, because both Mr. Trump and Joe Biden are talking about jobs, of course, but they differ in how those jobs would be created. Mr. Trump is big on coal mining, while Biden is more focused on clean energy jobs. How are Pennsylvanians grappling with these different approaches? Because there must be a sense that jobs in Pennsylvania have to be front-facing for the future, correct?
Absolutely. And you put your finger, Tanya, on really the key issue. We've got 800,000 plus people out of work right now, COVID related. But there's a whole lot of folks who were out of work before it began. And, I think the way each campaign and each candidate approaches this issue is going to be critical. You're absolutely right that the Biden campaign, they say, and in my interviews with Joe Biden himself, he says quite clearly he is not going to ban fracking, which is natural gas, on day one. He doesn't believe in that. He might ban it in public lands, but not the natural resource that we have so much of here in Pennsylvania. Instead, he wants to try to move us to a fossil fuel-free economy, creating new jobs down the line. But it's nothing that's going to happen automatically. The Trump folks say, no, no, no. No, no, no. What Biden's going to do is toss you out of work on day one, and that you will lose jobs in the energy area. This is a big and important issue, as you point out, Tanya. And I think the whole question of who do you believe, who do you think is going to create and protect the jobs that you have, that's going to be really key in this 2020 election here in Pennsylvania.
All right, Jon Delano, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your insight into that battleground state with us.
Always a pleasure, Tanya. Great to be with you.